Meow, my friends. Over 1,700 journalists killed since 2006, with 85% of cases unpunished. That's not just a statistic, that's a graveyard of truth-tellers. It seems the world has found a new Olympic sport, journalist hunting, and boy, are we breaking records. UNESCO's latest report is nothing short of a grim reflection on the state of global journalism. In the past 2 years alone, 162 journalists have been silenced forever. That's one brave soul every 4 days, faster than I can say breaking news. We've seen a 38% jump in journalist fatalities compared to the last report. That's growth that would make any psychopathic CEO proud. The state of Palestine took the gold medal for danger in 2023 with 24 fatalities, while Mexico, not to be outdone, racked up 19 in 2022. It's like a morbid game of ping pong, but with lives at stake. From the war-torn streets of Gaza to the cartel-controlled corners of Mexico, it seems nowhere is safe for those pesky truth-tellers. It's like a global game of whack-a-mole, but with reporters. At this rate, being a journalist is about as safe as juggling nitroglycerin while riding a unicycle on a tightrope over an active volcano. Perhaps we should start a new reality show, Survivor Journalist Edition. Last one alive gets a Pulitzer and a bulletproof vest. Audrey Azoulay, UNESCO's head honcho, said a journalist was killed every 4 days. I didn't realise we were on a schedule, folks. Perhaps we should start a Deadpool for reporters. Too soon. Speaking of too soon, let's not forget poor Armen Soldin, the AFP journalist who caught a Russian rocket with his face in eastern Ukraine last May. He was just 32, probably thought he had his whole life ahead of him. Silly chap. But don't worry, my friends. It's not all doom and gloom. 14 of the 162 journalists killed were women. See? Gender equality is finally reaching the morgue. Progress, am I right? Next thing you know, we'll have equal pay for equal death. Now, you might be thinking, Ron, surely someone's doing something about this. Well, fear not. The international community has sprung into action with, drumroll please, another day. Yes, the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. Ah yes, another day to remind killers they're being naughty. That'll show 'em, because nothing says we care like adding another day to the calendar. UNESCO, the supposed guardian of press freedom, is shouting into the void. Their report is like a strongly worded letter to a serial killer. Well-intentioned, but spectacularly ineffective. With 85% of cases going unpunished, it's clear that murdering a journalist is the new jaywalking. Technically illegal, but who's really keeping track? But let's put things into perspective, shall we? While 1,700 journalist deaths since 2006 sounds bad, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the number of brain cells I've lost trying to understand why anyone would want to be a journalist these days. It's like applying for a job as a crash test dummy, but with less job security. More than half of these killings happened in countries with armed conflicts. It's like these journalists didn't get the memo. War zone, great place for a vacation, terrible for a vocation. But it's not just war correspondents in the line of fire. Local reporters investigating corruption, environmental journalists exposing corporate misdeeds. Turns out, speaking truth to power is an equal opportunity death sentence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ron, how can we fix this? Well, my furry friends, perhaps we need to equip journalists with invisibility cloaks. Harry Potter, where are you when we need you? Or maybe we could train them in the ancient art of ninja reporting. Imagine the headlines. Stealthy scribe sneaks story, survives shootout. In all seriousness though, this report is a damning indictment of our global commitment to press freedom. It's high time we stopped treating journalists like disposable pens and started valuing them for what they are. The watchdogs of democracy. Without them, who would keep us informed about the latest TikTok trends or celebrity breakups? Oh, and I suppose they also cover some important stuff like wars and corruption, but let's be real. We're all here for the cat videos. This isn't just about dead journalists, my friends. It's about killing the truth. With every silenced voice, we're one step closer to a world where the only news is fake news. International law, more like international suggestion. These killings violate every human rights treaty out there. But hey, who's counting? Certainly not the justice system. At this rate, journalist is going to join gladiator and plague doctor on the list of extinct professions. Future kids will ask, Mummy, what's a journalist? And we'll answer, well, honey, they were these brave, foolish souls who thought the truth was worth dying for. At this rate, by 2030, we'll be getting our news via Ouija board. Spirit of the recently departed journalist, what's happening in the Middle East? So what can we do? Well, short of bubble wrapping every journalist on the planet, maybe we could try something radical, like actually punishing the killers? Just a thought. Or perhaps we could start by giving this video a like, comment, or even subscribe. After all, supporting independent media is the least you can do in a world where being a journalist is about as safe as juggling chainsaws in a hurricane. We'll return shortly with more updates. I'm Ron de Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report.